we all know what we're getting into with this one. And I'm happy to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Thank you as always for being here, for clicking on the video, showing up and stopping by. We are diving into what I consider one of Queen's best tracks, period. Well, I guess period. That's it. Right? That's all there is to say. A Day at the Races, Somebody to Love. All right, so I do know this song, so this is not going to be a first listen. This is not going to be like a first reaction or whatever. So if you're not interested, then click off. But for the sake of us, going through the album, I may as well hit this track as well. Now, I think it's important to remember that like this type of music is not what I grew up with. So this track, even though I first heard Bohemian Rhapsody from the band many years ago, this track I heard on the radio probably now, I was suppose about 10 years ago or so. And I heard the song and I recognized Freddie's voice, but I was like, ooh, I've never heard this song before. And it just blew my mind. I loved this the first time I heard it. So, even though I wasn't familiar with Queen as a whole, this was one of the Queen songs that I heard, in my adulthood. And I was like, wow. So even though you're not going to get a first reaction, come on now, it'll still get a reaction. I bet you that. Somebody to Love. Here we go. Anybody come on. Find me somebody to love. That deep rush.
Each morning I get out my diary, can barely stand on my feet. Take a look at yourself in the mirror and cry. Lord, what you doing to me? I have spent all my years in believing you, but I just can't get no relief. Lord, somebody, ooh, somebody, can anybody find me?
God, it's so good. it's so good.
I work hard every day of my life. I work till I ache my bones. At the end of the day, I take home my heart and pay all of my own. I go down my knees and I straight away till the tears run down from my eyes. Oh, somebody, ooh, somebody, can anybody find me somebody to love? He works hard every day. I tried, but everybody wants to put me down. They say I'm gone crazy. They say I got a lot of water in my brain. I ain't got no common sense. I got nobody left to believe. Somebody, anybody find me somebody to love? Anybody find me someone to love? I got no rhythm. I just keep losing my beat. I'm alright. He's alright. I just gotta get out
Hold that
of
note
this
right there.
prison cell. Someday I'm gonna be free.
And the best ending ever.
Me somebody to love, find 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 me
It's just incredible.
somebody to love, somebody
This track opens the second side of the album, and what an introduction. What a reintroduction to the band. Like I said, I think that this is one of Queen's best tracks, period. I'm very familiar with it. And it's, I think, one of those songs that, unless you've been way overexposed to, I think it's one of those songs that will always give you goosebumps. Or at least I can speak from personal experience that, like, that's how it feels for me. No matter what. There's a lot to love in this track. The absolute desperation and pleading that Mercury sings with here is incredibly passionate, very emotional. Everyone else is doing a great job. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to talk about Freddie probably most of this track. Everyone else is great, though. Love the music behind it. Love the little guitar we get in there, the little solo, like the harmonies. Oh, they make the track as well. So yeah, everyone else is much appreciated here, but Mercury. I mean, I don't want to say, because it sounds almost condescending, that he puts in a convincing performance, but he does, in the sense of what he's singing about, the passion that he's singing with, the emotion, the dripping with emotion. You can tell it's coming from his heart. You know what I mean? And that's why I mean it's convincing. I say this sometimes, but it's not like a singer singing about love or love lost. This is a singer feeling that love lost, or just looking for somebody to love, and actually just putting it straight from their heart to their vocal cords. And it's absolutely incredible. One thing I really like about this track as well, the structure is really wonderful to listen to. Kind of obliterates to an extent a typical pop structure. But what I love is that, you know, obviously the song has several of those build-up moments where you can feel Freddie, of course, working towards that high note, right? Somebody da da da, somebody da, and then the anybody find me, which leads him to that one solo spot at the top of the hill where he can, of course, let it riff, you know, kind of go off with the vocal lines. And what I love about this, that I always thought was really interesting, is he hits the, I would say, his highest and most, you know, climactic note in the middle of the song. That final one at the very end, where, you know, they break down the music completely and really build it up, you know, drums and all, coming up to that final climax, it's not as powerful or raw as the middle one. And I've always liked that choice because it's almost like the outcry, that raw passion was erupted in the middle of the song. And then from that final build-up, there's a different kind of climax. There's a different kind of ending. And it doesn't hit the, I guess, typical what you would think of, like, okay, it's the finale of the song. You got to hit the high note. You got to go for it. He gives us a sensitive falsetto. You know, somebody to, I'm not doing it right, but love, that little run down. It's less raw power and raw emotion in the outcry kind of way, and more raw power, raw emotion in a sensitive, resolute, subtle kind of way. And I just always thought that was a really, really welcome change from perhaps what I would expect, and many audiences would expect at the time. I think that's absolutely wonderful. Like I said, the vocal harmonies absolutely make this song. The way that Freddie sings the verse with that rapid rhythm in certain moments, and the way he hits certain lines with a sort of, not aggression, but just a quickness. It's just really welcome. The delivery makes this whole thing. And what I love about the song is that, you know, there's hundreds of covers of this song, and you really can play with those vocal lines in any way. You know, there's a lot of flexibility in how you can approach those vocal lines. And even with as much flexibility as is given there, Mercury still holds it down as the best, right? He still puts it down as the absolute best. It clearly has a very progressive style to it, right? Just as Bohemian Rhapsody has a very progressive style to it that kind of takes that pop structure and throws it away and gives us a little something different. This one has a clear and resolute gospel inspiration with the harmonies and the way they build up. You know, it feels like a service of sorts. It's just a really, to me, perfect track. I think I've said enough. What else can I say? Can anybody find me somebody to love? Each morning I get up, I die a little, can barely stand on my feet. Take a look at yourself in the mirror and cry. Take a look in the mirror and cry. Lord, what are you doing to me? I have spent all my years believing in you, but I just can't get no relief. Can somebody find me somebody to love? I work hard every day of my life. I work till I ache my bones. At the end, I take home my hard-earned pay all on my own. I get down on my knees, I start to pray till the tears run down from my eyes. Listen, the song is relatively straightforward in its message. It's in the title of the track, if you need a hint. Got no feel, I got no rhythm, I just keep losing my beat. I'm okay, I'm alright, I ain't gonna face no defeat. Just gotta get out of this prison cell, someday I'm gonna be free. Now, I don't know, because I mean, one, I wasn't around at the time, and two, I've never really paid that much attention to, like, the personal lives of Queen in general. I would imagine, this being the 70s, it was probably hard for Freddie to find someone to love, you know? I mean, it was hard. I mean, I don't know if he was out, like if he was out openly at this time or not, but regardless, I would imagine it was probably hard for him to find someone to, like, settle down with, you know? And I would also imagine at the time, unfortunately, there was a lot of deterrence, so to speak, against, you know, gay couples and stuff. So I could imagine that's probably what the song's about, but let's find out. Let's read a little bit. It says, reached number 2 in the UK, number 13 on the US Billboard Hot 100. Only number 13 is actually really surprising to me. Actually, it was really surprising to me. Let's see. Queen was able to create the soulful sound of a 100-voice choir from the 3 singers. Of course, Mercury, May, and Taylor. Deacon did not sing backing vocals on the album recording. Mercury's fascination and admiration for Aretha Franklin was a major influence for the creation of this song. And of course, there's a lot of information on this one. It says that they multi-tracked their voices to create the impression of the 100-voice gospel choir. The lyrics, especially combined with the gospel influence, create a song about faith, desperation, and soul-searching. The singer questions both the lack of love experienced in his life and the role and existence of a God. This is reinforced by the frequent use of word painting. All right, we already know all that. Let's see. Roger Taylor said, this track is Aretha Franklin influence. Freddie's very much into that. We tried to keep the track in a loose gospel type feel. I think it's the loosest track we've done. That actually, geez, that is so perfectly lined up with what I said in that it's very flexible. And you can definitely kind of play around with it a little bit. I'm really surprised that this didn't chart higher when it was released. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. And here's all your chart positions. Where did it hit number 1? Netherlands, 2 in the UK, like we mentioned, 2 in Belgium. I mean, obviously, all right, US 2019, so it hit some resurgence as well. I'm just really surprised that originally it didn't hit like a lot higher. Canada 5, okay. 6 in Ireland. I mean, it's still good. Obviously, it's still incredible. I just genuinely expected like number 1 kind of all the way around just based off the quality of it. But yeah, that's just me. Let me know what you guys, of course, thought of it. Comments down below. Press the like button before you leave. Patreon's there if you want to support the channel and what I do for as little as $2 a month. You don't have to, obviously, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. Come back tomorrow, and I'll see you all later. Bye, guys.